All right, welcome in. Happy Saturday. It is time for Wager Talk's last call. And just in time, too, as we've got an all-important Game 3 in the NBA coming your way later today here. The Knicks taking on the Cavs. You've got a pretty damn important NHL Conference Championship game coming up. Is Montreal for real? Boy, a lot of question marks going on there. Andrew McInnis will be by a little bit later. We've got the Prez. He too will chime in on his thoughts, especially like Vegas. Wow, what is going on there? Then you mix in, it's Paul Skeens Day here in Major League Baseball. We do have one cancellation already with the Yankees in Tampa. Couple of pitching changes. We'll run down it all. And who doesn't want a little Toronto tempo talk? Yeah, that would be me. But I'll tell you who's got that information is our good friend Gianni VR in the house, ready to roll here on a last call on Saturday. Got to love the Toronto Temple. Nobody even knows they have a team yet, VR. That's the funny part. Shout out to David and company. Guys, we got a lot to get to here. A lot going on the board, VR, but interesting spots. I mean, I was on Wager Talk today after you yesterday, and I heard you talking about, some of the head faking still going on here in the NBA playoffs, the NHL. So it's kind of been a back and forth, an interesting market move, I would say, over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, and we've seen where they're betting one side early, getting out ahead of the public, and coming back and slamming the opposite 2, 3, 3.5 points better later. Yesterday, I was on the back end, the bad end of one of those. And you're like, wait, why is this guy so happy? He lost his 5%. Because we hit everything else. I think we hit 7 out of 8 premiums that I released. But I got beat on that under in that game yesterday in the NBA because I thought they were going to do that exact same thing. Come back and slam that under when it got up to that 219 and a half range. And I did see some sharp money come in. And that's exactly why it didn't keep going up. But, it just didn't get there. But that's exactly what we're seeing throughout the playoffs, where obviously the bias is towards the over. And then you came into this series with both series, the West and the East, where the previous series, you saw a lot of overs down the end. Like there was like 6 straight overs over game 6s and 7s in those previous series. So you had the bias towards the overs already. So as soon as the game was final, and the total went up at like 214, you'd see that it get hit in all the accounts at over 214, 14 and a half, 15 at the most, and they'd stop. And then the next day, everyone would see that. You get the piggybackers saying that sharp, jumping on the over before the public does. And then game day, the public bets the over as well. So that 214 is now up to 217, 218, 219. And I'm seeing none of that move up coming from sharp money, meaning like none of the guys that I trade info with, none of the accounts I have access with are hitting the over 216, 217. So it's the public forcing all that money, which is why it's moving in half-point increments, and you're not seeing it go from like 217 to 218. So that's hurt the books. And the reason I bring that up is because you're seeing the exact same thing in today's NBA game with Knicks and Cleveland. The public's blindly betting the over. They're doing that each and every game. So as soon as this line opened, you saw right in the account over 213. I even got one guy got 212 and a half in one of the accounts for like a nickel. So it shows you they're like ready to press hit as soon as that line goes up. Doesn't mean it's a legit move because, again, there's a lot of maneuvering later in the day where I'm seeing them come back and take the opposite. We saw that with the side yesterday. 5 minutes before tip-off, Joe, they take Oklahoma City. There were 3.5s out there like William Hill. They took out the 3.5s. They were looking for threes, taking out all the threes. As soon as the public bet that Spurs line up that they 3, bam, they came in and hit the Spurs. Hit Oklahoma City. So pay attention to that late money because it's never going to be fake. Sometimes it'll be the close of a middle or the execution of a scalp. So you got to determine that. But there's no room, there's no time to fake it. So those late moves, like that big hit on Oklahoma City right before tip-off, like that's as legit as they come. Getting back to tonight's game, they're betting Cleveland I know it that the percentage sites out there are probably saying that the public's all over the Knicks. I'm not seeing that. And now it's really early, but from what I can tell, looking at actual accounts, people that are betting the game, not giving their opinion on the game, betting it, so far, at least 7 out of every 10 bets have been on Cleveland. That's why you're seeing this line move from 1.5 to 2.5. And they're also betting it over even now at 215.5. So the public's going Cleveland and over. The sharp money just bet the over as soon as the line opened. Haven't seen anyone bet it since. Haven't seen them take the side or the total since. Finally, in teams up 2-0 like the Knicks, 6 out of 10 times they lose this game 3 in the NBA semifinals. And in all the NBA playoff rounds, first one through the NBA championship, it's still around that 43% of the time. 42 is only what they win. So about 6 out of 10 times, teams like Cleveland are able to get the W in game 3, but they go on to lose the series 9 out of 10 times. So the Knicks should go on to win this series. At least history tells us they're in that 99% probability range. But today, the money's coming in on Cleveland and over, at least early on. That's what I'm seeing.
Yeah, and it's funny. So you've seen some under money, but it's nothing but up and over. And it brings up a good point, VR, because in this price point, there's no pick the winner. Just pick the winner. Who do you think is going to win? Don't get caught up with, is it 2? Is it 2.5? Is it 1? Is it 3? Likely not going to come into play, Gianni, when it's all said and done. Figure out who do you like to win, and that's who you bet.
Money lines, Joe. In the Detroit, before this series, Detroit-Cleveland, the dog covered twice they covered on the money line. Spurs, Minnesota, the dog covered 2 of the games in that series, both on the money line. Like, you're so right. You're so right. This late in the season, favorites either blow the teams out or the underdog is live and gets the W. The points are usually the pussies. It doesn't matter right about now. Just fire.
Don't overthink it, guys. Pick the winner. Who do you like to win? And there you go. That's the direction you're going. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as long as you're hanging out with us. Shout out to B-Hawk. Benjamin Bergham's in the house there, as well as Titan CT. Good to see you guys. Gianni, full card here. Also, Major League Baseball, WNBA. I think UFC. Is the UFC off? What the hell is that? What is going on with that?
Yes, they're taking that week off, and then it's like straight through the summer, and Contender Series starts in August as well. So locked and loaded. It's kind of like a little break because that big 250 card for the, the U.S. birthday of 250, they're doing the White House card. So it's kind of like a little week off. But there's PFL. There's like 2 or 3 smaller promotion cards that are solid. I've even released, I think, already 4 premiums in PFL MENA that goes like late tonight, early Sunday morning. So there's always still markets available to us, regardless of the sport. You just got to dig a little deeper. But there is PFL. But like you mentioned, no UFC this week, but we do have a lot of Major League Baseball today, NHL playoffs as well, and WNBA even. So, there's action, baby.
Now, Steam Room, that coming up still today, a little later tonight. So you'll get a full bake down with him, guys. Make sure you join Gianni there for the Steam Room a little bit later. But across the board here, Gianni, I mean, how they doing in Vegas right now there? I mean, you're back in Vegas. How them Knight fans doing, right? Nobody can beat Colorado. Oh, my. Have you even seen anybody bet in Vegas? Any of your guys, were they pushing Vegas?
We bet Vegas last night. I swear to you. I wish I mean, it can't be. It's got to be like the cutoff window. People have to be able to get their play, have time to log in and bet the play. So I understand the 15-minute window of the cutoff. But a lot of that stuff comes really late, like Oklahoma City, because the market just pushes it so far that they're forced to get involved. Like, I don't think the group that I work with that does the NBA had any intentions of betting last night's NBA game because they thought it was going to sit around probably 1.5 or 2 with the Spurs favored. But when it got to 3 and then 3.5, like, they were forced to get involved. And that's what happened. The same thing with Vegas last night, where that money on Colorado started coming in. Again, the public's not betting until hours before the game. They're not tying up their money. It's not like they have a bunch of credit outs. So they're got to bet the money that they have in their accounts. So they're not tying it up days in advance. So right before game time, you saw that Colorado line, at least in the square shops, just get steamed, but it was all public steam. It wasn't the sharps betting it. And they did the exact opposite. They came in, they grabbed Vegas late. They had the under from earlier, but they grabbed Vegas late over Colorado and got the W there again. They're coming back with Montreal today, Joe. Now, to see Carolina lose, that to me would be a shocker. They are the best team in the NHL right now, power rating wise. I'm biased because I have a future on them, but they shouldn't go down 2-0 to Montreal at home. With that said, I can only report what I see, and what I've seen is Montreal getting hit at plus 185. There wasn't a lot of those available, but the two accounts that I see how it got bet in, it was Montreal plus 185. So it kind of makes sense because, it doesn't seem like Colorado's, minus 200 better than Montreal. And it's not a point spread. So you're talking that the money line has to become the great equalizer too. And that plus 185, I understand the attraction with Montreal. But this is a spot where Colorado just can't afford to lose this game. But all the pressure's on them. Down, 1-0 at home. And historically, real quickly, in this round, when the team loses game one at home, in this round, they've won game two 62% of the time. That was the probability last night for Colorado. That didn't come through. Tonight, same thing. 62% of the time, a team like Carolina that lost game one wins game two. So take that as you will. It's sharp money on Montreal. We'll see what happens there. I like Carolina myself.
It's a dog world in the NHL. We're just happy to be here, Gianni, watching it. Questions in Major League Baseball here. Again, the Yankees and Tampa getting plus money had to be the funniest thing I've seen yesterday with Cole coming back. Hadn't pitched in 14 months, but let's fade the hottest team in Major League Baseball. They did it with the Brewers last night with the Dodgers and the Yankees, Gianni. It's just like they're going to get money no matter what. They're always going to come in. But the value is always in looking for spots to play against them. And you can spend a whole year doing nothing but looking for spots to fade the Yankees and the Dodgers. What are you seeing today?
And I was so shocked by that line. We talked about it on WagerTalk today. That I actually thought like red flag, the sirens were going off. Like, wait, are the Yankees a lock? Later in the day, we actually bet Tampa Bay. So I was on Tampa Bay. I sent out a premium play on Tampa Bay. I'm glad I didn't fall for that trap because, again, that's exactly what it looked like to me. And you're right. With those kind of teams, like you can't be afraid to fade them. Remember, in Major League Baseball, we know, I say it all the time, when the season ends, very few teams are going to win above 55% of their games. Even like these really, really good teams that we're seeing right now, the Tampa Bays, the Athletics are above 500. But looking at Milwaukee, looking at Atlanta, looking at teams like that, like they're not going to continue to win 70% of their games. Yankees, when the season ends, Atlanta won't be a team that won even 60% of their games. Tampa won't even win 60% of their games. And they're up around that 70% mark. So I'm not surprised to see the Sharps looking for positions to fade these really good teams. They're really good teams. But again, when you're playing 162 games and first place teams usually win between 56 and 58%, close to 60 tops, you're going to get these teams that lose. Here's what they're betting today. Let me read off the steam sheet a little bit that's in there right now. They bet Washington again. Washington plus 175, Washington plus 170, Washington plus 165, Washington plus 160. They also have the run line on Washington. They bet the under 9.5, then followed through and came under 9 in that same game. Washington, Atlanta. Also, Colorado. They took the plus 180. They took the plus 170 on Colorado, and they went under 9.5 there. Haven't touched the 9, only at 9.5. Then Detroit, Baltimore. They went under 8.5, then followed through and went under 8 as well. Angels, plus 155, 150, 145, 140, 135. They like those Angels today, and they bet it under also 8.5 up to minus 120. They took the San Francisco Giants at even money and fading the fate and fills again. They're taking Cleveland plus 170. So that's the early true moves so far in Major League Baseball.
And I got to ask, because they're on the board, 3 games in the WNBA. Have you seen anything moving there, Gianni?
Now, I've seen some line movements. I haven't seen anything hit in the accounts. And usually with WNBA, fortunately, I'm working with guys that are that actually do WNBA, not just like get that information. Because you got to remember, these betting syndicates that originate something, they trade their stuff and then get other people's stuff. It's like it's crazy how that world works. But with the WNBA, fortunately, the group that I work with, they actually handicap their own stuff. They haven't bet anything yet today, but what I can tell you is the one game that's sticking out already, I don't know why the public's betting it, but they're taking Minnesota. I know Minnesota looked really good the other day. In fact, Minnesota was the biggest bet I've placed so far in the WNBA because it's set up perfectly. They were returning home, and they had 2 losses at home. This was a team that I have power rated as the 3rd best team in the WNBA. They were sitting, I think, at 2-2, hadn't won a home game yet. And more importantly, they only lost 2 home games the entire 2025 season. They were in such a good spot the other day. They blew that opponent out. I see the public betting them again today. Be cautious. That line should have moved to 3 already. It's not doing that. So I don't know. If I had gun the head, I'd look to the Chicago side, and I'd look to the over as well. Just throwing it out there. I think there's some recency bias on Minnesota.
Quick question, Gianni, because I know you dabble in this too. We're in the tournament time in college baseball, the regionals, the super regionals, the College World Series comes. You know, it kind of flies under the radar until, of course, it gets here. But I don't think folks realize some of the edges, especially in totals in college baseball during regional and super regional time here. How do your groups approach that? What do you usually see when it comes to college baseball? I'd
say 80% totals, 20% sides, which tells you that the totals market is a lot less efficient than the sides market. I don't originate my own college baseball. I piggyback what the group that I provide accounts for does, but because I see how well they do, I told about someone that I have that power rate stuff for me. Anyway, I have them power rate in college baseball just because I want to see if anything lines up. And I can share real quickly. These are the top 5 college World Series, college baseball, call it what you will, teams as we stand right now. Georgia Tech, best team in the country, followed by North Carolina, followed by Texas A&M, followed by Auburn, followed by Georgia. So Georgia Tech, North Carolina, A&M, Auburn, Georgia, 5 best teams in all of college baseball. So, I want to dabble in it, probably want to get some more to that World Series, pick off a couple sides. But so far, just been piggybacking, and they bet a lot of overs. And it makes sense because you can only go so high, kind of like you can only go so low on an under, and sometimes the books are trapped. And I talked about it in the past where, you know, when I moved out here, you never saw lower than 7 on an MLB total. Never. It didn't matter who was pitching. The lowest total was 7, and they would just juice the under. Like if it was Pedro Martinez versus Greg Maddux, it would be 7 with the under minus 150. They didn't care. They just didn't go to 6.5 or 6s. While the market's more efficient now, we've even seen 5.5s out there. With that said, they can only go so low, just like they can only go so high. You're not going to see an 18.5 in a Major League Baseball game, but there are matchups where that is what the total run should come out to. And that's where you get the advantages with some of these extreme overs and some extreme unders, where again, they could only put the total so low or so high. And that's where you take advantage. And I've seen a lot of overs, more overs than unders in college baseball.
Always aluminum bats. They changed the game, Gianni. They absolutely changed the game. Yep. What do you got locked, loaded, ready to roll here today? What do you got coming up for folks? You got you got the Steam Sheep and you got the Steam Room coming up. What else is going on?
Yep. At 10 o'clock, 1 p.m. Eastern, we will be going over NBA, NHL, Major League Baseball, WNBA, and anything else that I have. There should be a handful of free soccer for you. I shared a bunch of 4% soccer bets, which is 1% of our bankroll for you guys that go off today. My soccer crew has been hot. We're getting ready for the World Cup. Already have my top 50 countries power rated. Number 1, Spain. I have the PFL package up as well, because like I said, there are some plays that are worth betting. Steam sheet is up with Major League Baseball, NBA, and NHL. And if I could fire 4%, if I get any confirmation in NBA or NHL, that'll be out there as well. Otherwise, it's just the long-term guys will be grinding today and looking to do some damage. Cleveland's getting hit. Wow, they're going to be 3 before you know it. If you like New York, sit and wait. If you like Cleveland, you better fire.
It's lighting up as we're sitting here, Gianni. Yep. Before I let you go, though, I saw somebody in the chat asking, when do we start with the NFL win totals? And so when does that happen?
I'd say closer to like mid-June, late June. When they start getting into those spring trainings, we already start talking preseason. Yep. I think then we'll start seeing some season win totals. There's no reason to get this far out ahead of the market. You know, it's fun to talk about and it gives content, but there's just so much more I'd rather lock up my money in a lot better positions right now than locking it up for 9 months later. Again, it's great for content, but for actionable info, we got day-to-day shit to worry about.
Amen to that. One more month, you NFL homers. Hang in there. It'll be here before you know it. Enjoy what you have in the meantime there.
Yes,
Gianni, always a pleasure, brother. Best of luck. We'll see you again during the week here on Wager Talk. Make sure you visit the Steam Room coming up a little bit later here today, guys, on Wager Talk TV. Hit that like and subscribe button as long as you're hanging out here with us. Mark Martin, too. Pleasure to see you. Likes the Rangers here in a situation today. That's going to be, I don't know what to make of the Rangers. Like if DeGrom is going to get lit up, I don't know what the hell to do with them. And Dan, I don't know, did you how'd the Marlins do yesterday, Dan? Because I could have sworn on Wager Talk today, I think Andy looked at me, he's like side-eyed me. You both laughed at me when I said Miami would be there. But I'm just saying, I'm fairly certain. I'm seeing nothing, by the way, of Miami money against the Mets today. Maya versus Peralta. In some spots, the Mets were a favorite, and that is flipped. So now Miami is actually laying it at home with Max Meyer on the mound, who I happen to like. And Peralta is the only guy that you might be able to count on for the mound.
Hey, all I know is his Florida sports picks. This was his thought on betting New York teams currently. New York fans always bet with heart, no brains. I didn't say it. This is not my burner, but this is what has been said, Joe.
I bet Tampa yesterday, and I'm a diehard Yankee, but I only look to back the Yankees when I know they're in a fade spot. I want nothing to do with backing the Yankees at the overpriced market numbers that they are all the time here, Dan. I'm always looking
I'm glad that you mentioned it too, is because yesterday Gianni was talking about how sharps are starting to back in here on the Yankees, and Andy actually said, hey, comment below if you think the Rays are going to win. We'll give you a free 3-day flex pass. So Andy won somebody a flex pass. We'll tell him about it on Wager Talk today on Monday, but we helped him cash in there too, Joe. You nailed it.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, we also, by the way, the game canceled. Rasmussen Weathers canceled. They're not making it up apparently until September. So September 22nd is the makeup day for the go figure that. I think it's one of the last series of the season. Maybe it could be for all the marbles there in the American League East. Definitely ain't. Well, if you think I'm high, you don't think I'm high enough? I'll bring you a guy that is absolutely high enough. Let's bring him in here because when it comes to high and enough, never enough for our man here, the Prez in the house. Prez, what's going on, my man?
Brother, I knew that you had seen that statement and you were going to use it as a segue to bring me in. Yes, well done, Joe Raineri. Well done. I am not high right now. It is 11:30 in the morning. I woke up an hour ago and I still got to go to the gym. I used to gym it high, but that was when I was in my 20s and 30s. Now, regretfully, I gym it sober.
Well, you just yesterday was your birthday, so happy belated birthday, you guys. Prez turned 38 yesterday. That was nice. In his mind again. Until he tried to get out of bed this morning, then he realized so
I want to tell you about my day, Joe. So I turned 57 yesterday. So this is how it went down. I went golfing, 18 holes, I hurt my lower back and did not make it past hole number 9. On hole number 8, I was playing so badly that the first time I have ever in my life thrown my club with anger and it got caught in the top of a tree, I lost my pitching wedge.
I can't.
Then I lost both my hockey and NBA play last night, and my wife fell asleep early.
Oh, happy birthday. Prez, sounds like a Tuesday normally. But explain me to this then. You and I, we talked about it yesterday on the best betting show ever. I was willing to push in and lay it with Colorado last night because I figured there would be no way that they weren't going to they were going to lose both on their home ice, and sure enough, Press, they lost both on their home ice last night.
Yeah, well, they didn't lose both on their home ice last night.
No.
It took 2 nights for that to happen. And yeah, wow, really shows you how important Cale Makar is, especially on that power play, because they had power plays last night, and their power play is lights out. But guys, I am not writing Colorado off quite yet. An impressive display by Vegas. And from a fan perspective, Joe, I actually am cheering for Vegas. They're the team I'd like to see win. I'd like to see Vegas and Carolina, and either one of those teams win it all. I would be happy. So that's from a fan perspective. With that said, you know, and I could be wrong here, and Andrew might fix the statement, but if memory serves, Colorado was down 2 to Dallas and got out of it a year ago or a couple of years ago. I don't know. I don't think the series is over. And I think when Cale Makar comes back, we're going to see a different look from Colorado. But I got to say this, Carter, outstanding, man. I mean, you know, we talked about this on the best betting show ever. The guy was literally robbed 3 of his best seasons because and then he was found innocent. The whole thing is just absurd. But he was one of the best goalies in hockey for Philadelphia before the trial, and looks like he has found his place again. He is playing exceptional hockey.
Yeah, I mean, Vegas third period, just wow, getting it done. Experience matters, and Eichel. What they scored 2 goals, I think, in 2 minutes, and
Eichel was on both of them. Great shot, excellent pass. Yeah.
Yep. And now might be the time, Prez. We do a predictive market segment on the best betting show ever. Now might be a decent time if you still think Colorado's got some life to head on over there and see if you can't get them at a pretty good price in the series numbers there. But you got one tonight. Now it can't be all about the dog spreads. I've literally seen no money come in on Montreal here tonight. I mean, it was under $2, and now it's apparently nobody thinks this is going to be a 2-0 sweep for Montreal.
So I'm here to talk NBA, Joe, because I am an NBA betting machine. 5 straight seasons of winning NBA. Everybody knows me for my NHL.
Yes.
Little did they know that my NBA is better than my NHL.
It is.
So my NHL playoffs are ridiculous, 19-5. Yep. But man, my NBA playoffs, I'm 62% in. After this season, it'll be 4 straight NBA seasons. So my NBA is incredible. And I'm here to talk NBA. Andrew's going to talk hockey.
No. Yeah,
but I will say this.
I'm going to have to spend 20 minutes hearing about Montreal with Andrew. You and I both know this. Yeah. So I'm just looking for an unbiased opinion here. Does this keep growing? Is there going to be buyback at some point today, you think?
Well, according to Gianni, listening to what an exceptional segment Gianni did, by the way, is this a head fake? Because all we're seeing is money pouring in on Carolina right now. And we saw that with Colorado. And then, as Gianni said, 5 minutes before game time, they all jumped in and grabbed Vegas. I don't know if this is a head fake at all. I expect the line to not come down a ton. But I like the under in this game, Joe. I'll tell you that right off the bat. you look at this Carolina Hurricanes team, clearly they were rusty coming into this game, but this is a Carolina team that played 8 games prior. In 8 games, they kept their opponents to 10 goals in 8 games. Whew. And it's not like the Habs are some kind of Wayne Gretzky-led scoring juggernaut. They are, they score slightly more than Ottawa or Philadelphia, but yeah, I expect Carolina to come out and play an incredibly defensive game. I think they're going to keep Montreal to the outside. I think they understand the speed that is coming at them now and will make a slightly better adjustment. I like this game to go under the total, especially if you can find 6. And I know it's being bet down at 5.5 all over the place. But yeah, I think the under is the play.
I agree. I've done nothing but go first period overs with Montreal, but I think they might hit a wall. But I can assure you, Andrew coming up will tell me that that's not true. They're going to drop 9 goals here tonight on Carol. You and I both know that's coming, Press. But talk to me about
let's give Andrew his due here, man. The guy's had an exceptional NHL playoff. He's a very talented bettor. And even though he doesn't shave yet, you likely should still listen to him.
Well, he's on a run that is just absolutely absurd. Homer or not, he's obviously clearing. He's clearing a ball. I believe he's 11-2 run right now. I mean, I think
I'm on a 13-3 run. What else?
Man, if I should have bet. I knew that was going to happen, Dan. I just knew he was going to come right over the top.
Well, when you can, baby. When you can, you can.
Tell me about your NBA here. You have a play up and ready to roll here tonight.
I want to give lots of love to Florida Sports Picks. He just tipped $5.
Nice.
Just to let everybody know, I'm pretty sure we donate all that money. So, yeah, we do not. We do not. Any tip given to us by on these YouTube shows,
not even all of it. Any of these tips that you drop on the channel, we donate all of it, and we take charities we give it to, and then Gianni tweets out who it goes to. So yeah,
nice, very nice.
We definitely. So I appreciate all those tips. We do not keep them, and we don't keep them for a couple of reasons. 1, we like to give charity, and 2, I don't freaking need them, baby.
Well, I mean, with you're 13 and what'd you say? 13-2, 13-4. What is it?
13-3. I give you guys some flexes, but I'm freezing my butt off. Okay, so we got a huge game in Cleveland tonight, and we have been there, done that, seen this play out already, Joe. Look, I'm going to bottom line this game. Cleveland lost the first 2 in Detroit. The sky was falling. The house was on fire. Detroit was set up for a sweep. Everything was going wrong. And then the game goes home and Cleveland lays the smackdown on Detroit. I think it was 116 or something. It was a big, it wasn't even close in that game 3. Cleveland 6-1 at home. Outstanding edge at Rocket Arena. This is a team that not only is 6-1 at home, these playoffs, but they're winning games convincingly. Now, I like Cleveland in this spot, -2.5. I want to tell you guys, if we see this line drop to 2 or less, I would prefer you guys bet the money line, but I do think Cleveland is the right play. And when you look at this stuff, when you handicap basketball, we're looking to see, we're looking at the shooting percentages. We're looking at things coming back to the means. So you have a scenario here where Cleveland from the 3-point spot has shot 29% from the 3-point arc. If that goes up by 10%, even 6 or 7%, it changes the entire complexion of the game. It opens up their front court. All of a sudden, Mobley and Allen start to play, and they really have not played well this series, and it gives space for Donovan Mitchell. So the key to this game, from my perspective, is can Cleveland hit in the high 30s, around 40% from the 3-point arc? If they can, the whole complexion of their offense changes, and I think they can because we see this over and over again. Teams that are cold come out hot. Not necessarily that. I mean, look, teams can go cold for 2 games, 3 games in a row, but it always comes back to the means. And we saw that. And not only has Cleveland hit 29% from the 3, Joe, but they are getting open looks all over the court. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you that the New York Knicks are playing some kind of lights out smothering defense. Cleveland is missing open shots. And when you're missing open shots in basketball, it normally comes back to the means. So Cleveland is missing open shots. Cleveland is not shooting well from the 3-point arc. Mobley and Jared Allen has not gotten going. They're playing at home where they're 6-1. They've already lost 2 and won the 3rd game, so they clearly weren't concerned. They know they've won a series down 0-2. And the New York Knicks are going to have a little bit of an adrenaline drop. Not only that, but Cleveland have won 4 out of 8 quarters. They've played major stretches of good basketball. I think this is set up for a Cleveland win, and I would not be surprised. I'm telling you guys right here, I was on WagerTalk today in game 1, and I told you guys to take the New York Knicks on the alternate line, like they were going to blow Cleveland out. Cleveland -7.
Prez, I'm laddering it as you're speaking here. That's it. Just go. Just take it and go. When we were talking earlier about the Cavs actually in the NBA playoffs with Gianni, at this point, there's no reason to get cute. Whoever you like to win, bet it, Prez, in this price range. There's no reason to get cute. I don't think this is going to be a 1-bucket situation where I need to have that half a point, that 2.5. No, you don't. Just pick the winner, and I think you're good to go here, Prez.
Well, and especially under 4, Joe. We've done a lot of deep dives into these. It's strangely what people, this is off topic, and NFL football right around the corner. Strangely, in NFL, the number is -6, win, cover. You would think that it would be the opposite. You would think that the line would be bigger in the NBA, given there's 2 million points scored, but it actually isn't. -6, anything up to -6, take the winning team in NFL. Anything up to -4, take the winning team in NBA. I agree with that sentiment. And do you actually think that the New York Knicks are going to sweep Cleveland? And conversely, do you think Cleveland is going to get swept?
It's 1 word, 2 words. James Harden. The only thing you got to worry about. That's it. James Harden. But I just said we have a history of James Harden figuring out ways to blow it off. Does the coach have the guts to say? I hope so. Florida Sports Picks. At least when the game matters the most. You're going to need Spider Mitchell to come out and play out his you-know-what here. But listen, anything is possible. The money's still coming in on Cleveland. It looks to be a little buyback here now. Back to 2.5 in some spots, Prez. So, hey, there it is. It's I think it's, what you see is what you get. Pick the winner tonight, and I don't think you can go wrong.
And Joe, I'll tell you, man, if you were, say, betting 3% of your bankroll, say, on the Cleveland tonight, I would have 0 issues splitting it up 1% on the first quarter, 1% on the half, 1% of the game. I think Cleveland's coming out flying tonight, Joe. And look, it's not like they haven't come out flying already this series. They absolutely dominated the Knicks for 3.5 quarters in game 1. So first quarter, first half, full game. I like Cleveland here. Thanks for having me on, dude. This was so fun, and I so rarely get to speak NBA.
That's outstanding, Prez. And at your page now, is the birthday special still up? What's going on there, my man?
Yes, sir. We're going to run this until Tuesday, and that is $57 for 7-day all access of the Prez. I went 1-2 last night for my clients. I went 1-2 on Thursday, so I do apologize. 2 losing nights. I have won 2 out of 3 days over the last 40 days of betting. And I'm seeing things really, really well. So anybody who has not purchased that, you did miss a losing night last night. Great spot to buy the package now. For all of you guys who are wishing me happy birthday. I so greatly appreciate it. Same with all the people who put stuff up in the comments on the best betting show ever. So much love for all of you guys. Over 1,000 of you watching this show live. It means the world to us. Joe, we are about 1,000 people away from 250,000 followers on YouTube. Johnny Detroit and I, when we started this business with Marco, we were going to celebrate at 10,000 YouTube subscribers. Like, we were like, holy shit, we're at 10,000 YouTube subscribers. Now we're closing in on 250,000, and I'm telling you, it is going to be way quicker to get from 250,000 to half than it is to go from 0 to 250,000. So for anybody who has never heard about us, we are coming, baby.
Yeah, Prez. Well, listen, as long as you're going to be there, Prez, don't pull anything here, my man. Some Advil, some ice. Happy 70. What was that, 75th?
Look how freaking good I look for 75. Like,
you
seriously.
Really
Look how good I look for 75, man. Yes. Are you kidding me?
Outstanding stuff, Prez,
you can't look any better, dude. You can't look any better.
What do you got up at your page? I know you've been crushing Major League Baseball as well.
Yeah, I've won 4 straight in baseball. I'm also 11-4 on the season in baseball totals. I do have 1 baseball play up tonight. I have 1 hockey play up tonight. I have 1 NBA play up tonight. Don't buy any of that stuff, guys. Just head over, buy the $57 all access. And also shout out to Andrew McInnis, outstanding work on puck time and an excellent, well-timed NHL playoff run.
Love it. Prez, get out of here. It's always a pleasure, man. See you, my man. Shocked that he didn't say, but don't forget, I'm 13-3. But never mind anyway. You heard the Prez, though. Make sure, and I blame you, Dan, for not hitting that mute button, by the way. I don't know. You have it, and you didn't utilize it. Yes, and you did that. If I had it, we would have been done 23 minutes ago. I can tell you.
It's his birthday, Joe. Give him a little bit.
His birthday was yesterday. What have you done for me lately? All right. Don't forget, guys, hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button. Help us get to the 250 mark. That would be outstanding, and we certainly appreciate it. Plus, it doesn't hurt being part of the WagerTalk TV family. And, of course, if you're heading over to WagerTalk.com, I do have a 5% max bet up at my page on the NBA game here tonight. You can go and grab that. 5-0, by the way, on these 5%ers just this postseason. In fact, 25-9 over the last 365 days with these 5%ers. So 34 total 5% plays over the last year. It's only about 3 a month, guys. They don't come around often, but when they do, it's for a reason, not to mention on a 10-2 playoff run here in the association. So go pick that up over at WagerTalk.com here today. And listen, when it comes to 5% runs, this NHL game coming up here tonight, yes, he might be a homer, but he is a homer of Montreal that absolutely knows what he's talking about, because the 11-2 run on your top-rated plays, Andrew, in the NHL, it doesn't get any better than that, my man. They don't happen often, but when they do, you better pay attention to what's going on, my man. How are you?
Now, Joe, great to see you. I'll tell you what, I was hoping you guys would give a word count to Prez, because I thought he'd never stop. I got places to be. It's Saturday. I know you would hit the mute button for him, but then he throws a compliment at me at the end there, so it's hard to really be upset at him. But I got to admit, it's 11-3 now. We did drop the one last night, but you know, people say the playoffs are the time it gets harder. I have found the most success so far during the playoffs for the NHL. You know, I know there's, load management in the NBA, but I feel like even in the NHL this year, there were games that teams weren't getting up for. They weren't caring about as much. Now you can kind of look at every game as its own game. And I think the series, the way they're following, it's really good for us as sports bettors. So since March 1st, second in the NHL at the whole company, plus 40 units. So doing very well, and hit a 5% play on Thursday. And Joe, it's been a long time since I've actually been able to make money taking the Montreal Canadiens. So I am officially here. I messaged Kelly. I'm officially here to welcome you to the Montreal Canadiens bandwagon. You're more than welcome to hop on board.
Well, I have been actually riding the Canadians in their first period overs because it might be the easiest play all playoffs. And there's always one team along those lines that it gets on this ridiculous streak, Andrew, in the postseason. And listen, I've been there as a Panther guy. You know, we didn't have long stretches where, you know, there's only so many Van Beesbrook jerseys that you can wear before you're like, I'm just done with this team. But listen, it's your time now, man. You've waited a long time as a Canadians fan to see them in a spot to represent the East in the finals. They showed up and showed out in game one. It's going to be interesting here tonight. Is the recipe there? Because they've done this all season against Carolina, Andrew.
I have to say, look, it's going to be different tonight. I was a huge fan of the rest versus rust angle. I think the people that thought 11 days off weren't going to impact Carolina, it's just foolish. You know, you ask anybody to go away from their job or their career that long, let alone an athlete, it's going to impact you. So even though they swept their first two round opponents, it kind of worked negatively against them. Even their head coach, Rod Brendamore, said that wasn't the team that I know. So look, this Montreal team, they're in rhythm right now. Going into the series, you know, they have won as many games as they lost practically. They won the big games in Game 7. Looking at this one here, though, I'm looking at defense, similar to what Prez said. If you look at a way to play Carolina, if anybody out there doesn't want to just bet the under 5.5, if you want to bet Carolina, you guys know at WagerTalk, I love the team totals. Any victory that Carolina has had so far this postseason, they've limited their team total on the opponent under 2.5. So you can have that heavily chalk price on Carolina, or you can take the Habs under 2.5 goals. When you look at this one, if you want to take it from the shots on goal perspective, Jakub Dobeš, Joe, I'm sure you know, you love the props like I do. He has been phenomenal. He's in his rookie year still. You can get him over 28.5 saves as his player prop. And Carolina, they're known for the most shots on goal per game and the entirety of the season in the NHL, especially the expected goals because of all the chances they create. But this, to me, is going to be one of those games where they throw everything they possibly can at the net. They're known for shooting from bad angles. They're known from shooting at high volumes. I think Dobeš, whether or not he has a good game or not, goes over that 28.5 number simply because he'll face so much volume. But, you know, it's only one game. You don't want to overreact, but the way I'm looking right now, if this game is pond hockey once again, it benefits the Montreal Canadiens. So I do lean towards the under, but there's definitely a good night for some player props as well.
Again, I mean, you don't want to look too much into the regular season, Andrew, but the success that Montreal had, the blueprint is there. I don't know that Montreal has an answer for the speed that Montreal is bringing right now. And if they play from in front, I mean, they love to grind teams down. Doesn't feel like they're going to grind Montreal down. Now, having said that, look at all this money coming in on Carolina here. I mean, at some point, it's going to get to like, are we kidding? You see it high scoring, lower scoring, 6 games, 7 games. What do you think we're going to get in this series ultimately?
Well, and like you said, Joe, the way that their speed has been a factor and the depth in the first period alone, they got 2 goals from the bottom 6 and 2 goals from the top 6. So that makes a really big difference. And in game 1 and now in game 2, minus 120 is the price for them to score a goal in the first period. So you mentioned the over 1.5 goals in the first period. 13 of the 15 games they've played this postseason, they've recorded at least 1 goal in the first period alone. So even if you want to make money on the Habs without betting the full game, you can look at the first period. But I think this one goes 6 or 7 games. Look, this, Joe, is a way bigger game than a lot of Habs fans like myself are going to think. Because if you don't win this one after having momentum, they've not been good at home. And I'm going to be there on Monday. I cannot wait for it. But there's no secret. This young team, Joe, in all of your years of handicapping, have you ever seen a team so young be that much better on the road? You know, the Bell Center is known for one of the best atmospheres in sports, but yet this team has performed at such a higher level when they're on the road. Maybe less pressure, less to worry about. I'm not sure what it is, but Carolina having the last change, some people say that stuff is overblown, but you get the last change, you get the combinations you want out there. They have to make it a grinded out game. So this, to me, is going to be an under regardless, which is why we always say the tickets all cash the same. I think that Jakub Dobeš save prop is one that's definitely worth looking at. Now, if you want to look at, hey, if I think he's going to make a lot of saves, who's going to get all the shots. Logan Stankoven over 2.5 shots on goal is -130. If people remember, he was the one that was brought over in that original trade for Mikko Rantanen. And then Mikko Rantanen didn't sign back with Carolina. He didn't want to play for them. Now he's in Dallas. Well, the joke is on Mikko because Stankoven's in the conference final and Mikko Rantanen's golfing in Cancun right now. So when you look at Stankoven, he's been the best guy in that trade. I think him over 2.5 shots is a good move tonight.
I love it. Before we get to your what you got rolling over at Wager Talk, I'd be remiss if I didn't see it. I mean, I got the Tiger Cats, I got Toronto, I got Edmonton, I got BC, I got CFL around the corner. Preseason already underway here, and we all know there is no sport that feels like it plays 11 months out of the year, kind of like the CFL. That season is unbelievable. But nobody better at it than you, Andrew, and you're gearing up for another year as well with the CFL.
Joe, it feels like just yesterday I was on your show, what is it, 7 years ago, talking about CFL games, and some things don't change. So, yeah, #1 at the website last year with it, and they actually cut the preseason this year. They said, we want more games. We're going to cut the preseason, more regular season games, but the season gets going in 2 weeks, Joe. Can't wait for that. So that package you put on display there, that gets pretty much my CFL package, and we're throwing in the NHL for free. So when you look at this, don't even think about you're paying for the NHL. You're just paying for the CFL, and you're getting everything extra. And, you know, for those people that are on board with the NHL stuff as well, we offered them a great deal. Reach out to the customer service office. We're going to give you the World Hockey as well. Joe, I know you like the niche markets. For anybody hopping on board all sports right now with that 30-day pass deal, 7-1 start to the World Hockey Championships. We're betting on Great Britain playing hockey, Norway playing hockey. So there's always these markets that we can look at right now. And you got to know what you know and know what you don't know. And right now, there's lots of hockey going on for me.
Yeah, ton, Andrew. And again, that's a great package because nobody has cashed more tickets over the years in the CFL than Andrew does. And it's absolutely a moneymaker, guys. Make sure you visit them over at WagerTalk.com. You're locked and loaded here, Andrew. Anything crazy? Anything pique your interest here this weekend that you've got at your page?
Yeah, 4% play for me going to be going tomorrow in the NHL. As far as tonight, I like those props in the hockey game, Joe. I gave you a lot of the props that I like. That Dobish one's going to be a client play. We've got one more we didn't mention that will be a client play as well. But check it out, hop on board. And again, at my page, you can get that World Hockey plus NHL. So if you don't want to get on the CFL just yet, again, they all cash the same. The World Hockey, if you're here in North America, they're going on during the day. You watch hockey during the day, you watch hockey at night, you're cashing tickets to that World Hockey Championship. So a lot of the players in the NHL that get eliminated from their NHL teams, they head over to Europe and they take part in the World Hockey Championship. So it's been fantastic, and I love people joining me on that tournament while the NHL season's going on. So, Joe, I wish you the best of luck with your big play in the NBA today. I know you've been kicking ass as well, and I appreciate you being here with me today and having me on. And let's make some money, man, and enjoy your day.
Listen, when you see Carmine puck time this week, right, just tell them, go Team Italy in the world. I can't wait to see them play there. Andrew, always a pleasure, brother. Good luck, man. We'll see you again during the week here. Andrew McInnis, head over to his page at WagerTalk.com and pick up that package, guys. Nobody cashes more tickets in the CFL than he does. It's actually a running joke here as we laugh each and every season where it feels like, I don't know, Dan, there's about 27,000 games it feels like it's never ending, and he's just sitting there dishing out winners, and I'm laughing going, how many games do they play? It feels like it's a 10-month
That's exactly what I say, because sometimes, I'll let my buddies know, Andrew has a big play in the CFL, and they're like, this is the 12th time we're betting against the Toronto Argonauts on Tuesday. You know what I mean? So it's a great time of year, though, man, when everyone's bitching about, I only got baseball to bet. Not if you head on over to Andrew's page, man. Yeah,
go over, take advantage of it, guys. What do we got? Colin Crane at 3062. Carter Hart didn't save, didn't have a lot of difficult save. Well, listen, every save is difficult when you're in the conference championship, but 2-0 for Vegas there. You got to love that. My goodness here. Vegas with a good opportunity. I got to check some of the predictive market series odds now. Vegas up 2-0. Now might be a good time to hop on Colorado there. And then, of course, depending on what happens here tonight, in the Montreal game. But keep an eye here. Is San Antonio in trouble? That's another market that we're going to cover this week on the best betting show ever. So make sure you guys come by. And that's why you got to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, become part of this WagerTalk TV family. The shows and the knowledge, guys, being dished out each and every day during the week is huge. So if you're new here and you haven't done it, go ahead, hit that subscribe button and become part of the WagerTalk TV family. That 5% best bet tonight in the NBA is available up at my page. And a couple of Major League Baseball plays. I've seen guys throwing all sorts of advice going on, so except AOD is still looking for Detroit in 5, Dan. I don't know. That's next year. Next year. I love that. All right, next year,
Detroit,
AOD, I promise.
Months. I think he meant in 5 months. Joe.
5 months. Poor AOD, man. Mobley blocks 1.5. Swap that. Zane Matthews, very nice. I like that. Mobley should do something to help his team win. That would be really good. NYC born. We've got Phillies, Seattle money line, and Pittsburgh first 5 here. I wouldn't pay the 175 in the first 5 to get Skeens. I think Varland pitched 6 outs last night for Toronto, so it's not like their bullpen is some sort of juggernaut here. Don't forget, Skeens got lit up by Dan's Phillies last time out, and he's usually pretty good after a not-so-good outing there. He went 20 innings, I think, without giving up a run, and then he met the Phillies, and that was the end of that. So I wouldn't pay the extra 20 cents just to isolate him in the first 5. I'd pay the minus 145, 148, and hop on board Pittsburgh there. They've won 2 of their last 3. I mean, it is Patrick Corbin after all, so I got no problem there. And also another dog here today, Dan. Give me the White Sox. Adrian Hauser is a gas can waiting to be lit up here, guys. And the White Sox, don't look now, they can actually hit and win games. So they won again last night against the Giants. I don't trust the Giants as far as I can throw them. It's an opener here today for the Giants. They're going to give way to Fetty, so good luck there. But I'm going with an over. Give me the over in the game, and absolutely give me the White Sox at plus money. Much better hitting team than what the Giants are putting out on the field here, Dan. So you want to give me plus money? I got no problem with that here today.
Yeah, and I don't care how square it is. Team total too for the White Sox.
Yes.
I mean, if they're hitting, they're hitting. Man, the over has even been looking towards 8-2 on the over. So yeah, okay, it's 9. Don't be scared away from that number. I will say the person throwing the Phillies in the money line, Sanchez went 8 innings. Joe, 22 of the batters or 22 at bats. He struck them out, either guys looking or swinging, and they still lost the game. So hey, maybe we need to stop this intro music for Duran. Do we have to keep doing this tarantula thing because it ain't working, Joe?
No, it's not. But I'd still go with the Phillies. I still trust them to get it done here today.
Wheeler is on the mound. I'm with you there.
I agree. And maybe a team total under as well is not a bad look there. I think Wheeler really starting to round into form. The big question, though, is I'd be careful with the Cubs. What is it, Dan? You never want to catch a falling knife?
Ooh.
Yeah, the Cubs are in free fall. Yeah, they're in free fall. And Tang, by the way, who's a converted, bullpen guy to starting pitching because the Astros have basically nobody left. But, well, Arrighetti did a pretty good job yesterday mowing down the Cubs, who, man, if they need a day off, like a week off or something, because they're a hot mess right now. I don't know. First 5 for me. Anybody trust Colin Ray? Yeah, no, me neither. Yeah,
well, and Ray's the perfect microcosm of the Cubs, right? Because he had a solid start and now he's winless in his past 3 outings. So he is the microcosm of what the Cubs are right now.
Yeah, I'd be careful with some of those teams. Do not catch that falling knife. But do hit that subscribe button, like button. Make sure you head over to WagerTalk.com. Don't forget, Want to thank Gianni, the Prez, Andrew McInnis. Gianni, I believe the Steam Room getting ready, 1 o'clock Eastern time here, just about an hour on WagerTalk TV. And all you got to do is, hit the subscribe button, get us to 250K, and then we'll stop bothering you about it. But in the meantime, guys, we appreciate it. Kelly back in the chair again next week. It's going to be a huge week. A lot going on here. Appreciate the time. Dan, always a pleasure. You guys rule. Cash those tickets. We'll see you again next week here on